It's the most wonderful time. Well, this should be interesting. What's happening, everybody? Justin, Bridgewater's Finest on YouTube, Blockbuster_guy on Twitter. I am sick as a dog, but welcome to week 15 of my weekly NFL pick show for the 2017-2018 NFL season, and this episode is going to be a strange one. This is basically going to be the lightning round of my show for this season. I'm not going to go into any depth of analysis on any of these games. I'm literally just going to be giving you the picks so that I can get this done, get it uploaded, and go the hell back to bed, because I have a terrible bout of the creature. So for the people that complain that my episodes are too long, hey, you get your wish this week. But I couldn't just go without, I'm feeling terrible, but I couldn't just go without putting up an episode at all. I couldn't do that to you guys this week, and couldn't do that to myself and break the streak I've got going here. So we had to get an episode out, but we're going to be making this one as quick as possible. So week 14, I was 9-7 straight up, lost the Monday Nighter last night. That has me 134-74 straight up on the season. Against the spread, I was even. I was 8-8, lost the Monday Nighter, of course. That has me 102-98 with 8 pushes. And over under, we actually pushed on the total in the game last night of exactly 47 points. So that was 8-7-1 in week 14 over under. That has me 98, 107, and 3 over under. Platinum, gold, silver, and bronze picks from week 14. I was only 2-2 straight up because of the New England and Tennessee losses. Only 2-2 against the spread because of those 2 losses. Over under, I was only 1-2-1, as I said, pushing on the platinum pick over under of exactly 47 points. In the Bridgewater's Finest Pick'em pool for Season 6, I've moved up to 4th place out of 35, 1,059 out of 1,658 confidence points, clip of exactly 70%, and in Week 14 I brought in 70 of 136 confidence points for 51%. Shout out to our Week 14 winner TrubiskyforMVP, who was 10-6 in Week 14, bringing in 90 of 136 confidence points. That's a clip of 66%. More than a Thielen remains our overall leader in the Bridgewater's Finest pool, 140 up and 68 down on the season, 1,198 out of 1,658 possible confidence points. That's a clip of 72%. Our top 7 teams separated now by just 44 points. In the HATBOX pool, I'm now all alone in 6th place out of 39 with my 134 straight up wins on the season out of the 208 games played. That's a straight up clip of 64%. And in week 14, I brought in 9 of the games correctly, so 9 out of 16 for 56%. Shout out to our week 14 winner, Cardiac Cats, one of only 2 teams to correctly pick Miami to win the Monday Nighter last night. They went 11-5 last week subsequently. That's a clip of 69% in week 14. RellEaglesFly, TJ Harmon, a fellow NFL YouTube prog, remains our overall leader. 140 games picked correctly straight up out of the 208. That's a clip of 67%, with just 48 games left in the regular season. Now, in order to catch him by the end of the regular season, any given team in the top 10 would need to outscore him by anywhere from 1 to 4 games per week. That is a tall task with how good TJ has been this season. So shout out to TrubiskyforMVP and Cardiac Cats for winning week 14 in the pools, and to More Than a Thielen and RellEaglesFly for remaining the overall leaders. Taking a quick peek into Fantasy Corner, I only had 2 fantasy football matchups last week. I had 2 teams that were on bye heading into the playoffs. So in the Professionals Dynasty League, I won my matchup, my playoff quarterfinal matchup against Gavin. That moves me to 10-4, still the number 2 seed in the league, and I have a playoff semifinal matchup against the Tomorrowland Movers, which is Chris Carter, fellow NFL YouTube prog. Now, his team is reeling because he lost Carson Wentz. We had a great matchup earlier this season. It sucks that he lost Wentz. I can't remember what other quarterbacks he has, but it's definitely a downgrade from Carson Wentz. Right now, I'm the favorite in that matchup by about 20 points, but anything can happen in fantasy football. So, Chris, I'm looking forward to our matchup. I'm sorry about losing Wentz, but I'm looking forward to our matchup. In the Progs League, of course, I had a bye week last week, as I mentioned last week. I'm still 9-4. I'm the number 1 seed in that league. I have a playoff semifinal matchup coming up against Ryan C. It's a projected win by about 4 points, so anything can happen in any of those matchups. Gavin, thank you very much for the playoff quarterfinal matchup this past week. It was pretty tight. Jarvis Landry made things interesting last night. Still pulled out the win. But the Tomorrowland Movers for Chris Carter and Ryan C. I'm looking forward to our matchup this week. And I say this to you guys every single week. You know there's a bunch of cool stuff down in the description of the episode. I'm not going to go through all of it to save some time, but make sure you go down there because there's a bunch of cool stuff down there. Make sure you hit up the description. All right, folks, here we go. Week 15 picks straight up against the spread and over-under. Like I said, absolutely no depth of analysis to any of these picks. No score predictions, nothing like that. I'm literally just giving you the picks so I can get this done and go back to bed. Let's look at the Week 15 games. In Indianapolis, I like the hometown Colts to get the win over the Denver Broncos. Against the spread, I like Indy plus 2.5 point dogs at home, and I like the total to go over 40.5 points. In Detroit, I like the Lions over the Chicago Bears. I like Detroit to win that game, but we're going to take Chicago plus 5.5 on the line at Detroit. Total is 44, and I like it to go over. Chiefs and Chargers playing in Kansas City. This is a battle for the AFC West. The Chiefs looked real good last week. The Chargers have looked good for the last 5 or 6 weeks, but I'm going to take Kansas City here at home to beat the Chargers. Home field advantage. KC's a 2-point dog at home, so I'm going to take that. Kansas City plus 2, and I like the game to stay under the 46.5 point total. In Buffalo, the Bills are going to play host to the Miami Dolphins, of course, with a great win last night on Monday Night Football. But I'm going to go with Buffalo here. Neither of these teams travel well. Miami is the team that's on the road, so I'm not going to pick them. So we're going to go Buffalo at home to beat Miami. There is no line and there is no total in this game. I like Buffalo probably by anything a field goal or less. I imagine Miami will probably open as the favorite in this matchup, which makes that even more enticing. So I'm going to take Buffalo against the spread, and there is no total, but I think the watershed mark's going to be somewhere around 43. So if you get like a very high 30 or a very low 40, I say take the over on it. If you get kind of one of those middling 40s, like a 46, 45.5, 45, consider taking the under. AFC North matchup in Cleveland as the Browns are going to play host to the Baltimore Ravens. Ravens, I think, win this game in a walk. This should not be overly competitive. Let's take Baltimore on the road to beat Cleveland. Baltimore's favored by a full touchdown on the road. I say take that. Baltimore -7 at Cleveland, and I like the game to go over the 40-point total. You guys have no idea how many jump cuts there are to just cut coughing out of this episode. Okay, back to our regularly scheduled programming. In New York, the Giants are going to play host to the Philadelphia Eagles. Of course, Carson Wentz now done for the season. Nick Foles came in, looked good. He knows this offense. He can win in this offense. I like Philly on the road in New York to beat the Giants. On the line, Philly's favored by 7.5 points on the road. I was really tempted to take the Giants here, but I do believe in the Philadelphia Eagles, even though they've already clinched. But let's go Philadelphia -7.5 in New York, and I like the game to go over the 40-point total. In Washington, the Redskins are going to play host to the Arizona Cardinals. Arizona, a team that does not travel very well. They did win last week, beating Tennessee. That was, again, one of the games that I got wrong last week. Washington coming off of getting drubbed by the Chargers. I actually like Washington in this game. I'm just going to give them the advantage based on them being at home. Let's take the Redskins at home to beat the Cardinals. Washington's favored by 4.5 points at home. Do not take that. This is going to be a close game that's decided by a field goal at the end, and Arizona could very easily win this game straight up. So we're going to take the 4.5 points on Arizona's side, go Arizona plus 4.5, and I like the game to go over the 43.5 point total. Carolina Green Bay in Carolina may be the most interesting game of the week because there's the specter of Aaron Rodgers. He may return this week as Green Bay still has a shot here to get in to a wild card spot. I'm going to take Carolina to win the game straight up because top to bottom, even with Aaron Rodgers there, I think Carolina's the better football team. But I am going to hedge my bets and go Green Bay +3 on the line because you never know if Rodgers comes back. Rodgers has a way of, winning football games. So let's go Green Bay +3. And I like the game to go over the 45 point total. In Seattle, all AFC West matchup as the Seahawks will welcome the Rams to town. The Seahawks kind of got popped in the mouth last week against Jacksonville. I think it happens again this week. I actually like the Rams on the road. Let's take LA to beat Seattle. So obviously I like the Rams on the line with +1.5 on the line. Seattle's a 1.5 favorite at home, but take the Rams +1.5. And I think the game stays under the 48 point total. Probably not by a lot, but I think it stays under. The other most interesting matchup this week comes in Pittsburgh. Battle for the AFC, basically. The Pittsburgh Steelers at home against the New England Patriots. New England's offense looked terrible last night without Gronk. They will get Gronk back. I'm actually still going to take Pittsburgh in this game. Maybe just based on the fact that they're at home, but I'm going to take the Steelers here at home to beat the Patriots. Steelers are 2.5 point dogs at home, so you know what? Take the home dog in a close matchup. Pittsburgh +2.5. And this is the weirdest total of the week because I think this stays under, possibly by a whole touchdown. Stay under the 53.5 point total. In San Francisco, the 49ers are going to play host to the Tennessee Titans. 49ers won last week. Titans lost. Two teams going in different directions. It's weird to me that San Francisco's a 2-point favorite in this game. I'm going to take Tennessee on the road as the better team top to bottom. This is kind of a close game, but we're going to take Tennessee straight up to beat the 49ers. So obviously, I'm going to take the points, Tennessee +2, and I like the game to stay under the 44 point total. And the last game we're going to pick before we go to the platinum, gold, silver, and bronze picks is the Oakland Raiders playing host to the Dallas Cowboys. Dallas still not out of this thing. They see the light at the end of the Zeke tunnel. They get Elliott back next week, week 16. And if they can win this game and stay competitive, that's going to be a huge boost to them to try to sneak in to an NFC wildcard spot. Let's go with that. Let's take the Cowboys on the road in Oakland to beat the Raiders. But we are going to hedge our bets here and go Oakland +3 against the spread because they could very easily win this football game. So Dallas straight up, but Oakland +3 in a game that goes over the 46 point total. All right, folks, here we go. Platinum, gold, silver, and bronze picks for Week 15, 2017 NFL season. Bronze pick is 12-2 straight up, 8-6 against the spread, and 2-11-1 on the over-under. We actually got our over-under on this pick last week, which is tremendous. This game is going to be the Tampa Bay Bucks playing host to the Atlanta Falcons. I really like the Falcons in this game, and they're favored by under a touchdown, which is very tasty. Atlanta has to win football games like this if they want to get into the playoffs this year. So Atlanta, I like them on the road here in Tampa to beat the Bucks. I'm going to take that Atlanta -6 against the spread at Tampa Bay in a game that stays under 47.5 points. That is your bronze pick. My silver pick, where I'm 11-3 both straight up and against the spread. My silver pick is 11-3 against the spread and 5-9 on the over-under. Sees the New Orleans Saints at home taking on the New York Jets. Now, I really like the Saints here, obviously. If this game was in New York and the McCown injury hadn't happened, maybe I might actually think about this as a trap game. I really can't see it, especially given that either Bryce Petty or Christian Hackenberg are going to be starting at quarterback for the Jets. We're going to take the Saints here all day. New Orleans at home beat the Jets. On the line here, Saints are favored by 16 points, which looks ridiculous at first, and then you realize, oh wait, it's either Bryce Petty or Christian Hackenberg at quarterback. We're actually going to take that. We're going to go New Orleans -16 at home against the Jets. I like New Orleans to cover in a game that goes over the 47 point total. That is your silver pick. My gold pick, where I'm 10-4 straight up, 7-7 against the spread, and 8-6 on the over-under, sees the Minnesota Vikings at home playing host to the Cincinnati Bengals. Cincinnati looks like they're in an absolute tailspin right now. We're going to take the Minnesota Vikings at home. Excellent position for them to beat the Bengals. On the line, Minnesota favored by 11 points at home. Cincinnati is a better team than they have been playing as of late, so I'm actually going to take the opposite side of that. We're going to go Cincinnati plus 11 against the Vikings in a game that stays under the 42-point total. That is my gold pick. And the platinum pick, where I am 10-4 straight up, 7-7 against the spread, and 7-6-1 on the over-under, sees the Jacksonville Jaguars at home division matchup playing the Houston Texans. Jacksonville on an odd week. Kudos to Mr. Stephen Coleman. We're going to take that all day. Jacksonville at home demolishes the Houston Texans. How bad? On the line, Jacksonville favored by 11 points, and I'm going to take the Jags to cover that. Jacksonville minus 11 in a game that I think goes well over the 39-point total. That is your platinum pick. Also, I should have mentioned this at the time, a tip of the hat to my fellow NFL YouTube prog, Keith Bailey, for his insights on the Tennessee game. Keith is undefeated this season, picking the Tennessee Titans games. Tennessee is his team. He is the Titans guru, so shout out to you, Keith. Thanks for your insights. All right, folks, that's going to do it for your straight up against the spread and over-under picks for Week 15. Time for the patented comment of the week. And the comment of the week from the Week 14 episode is going to come from our overall leader in the HATBOX Pick'em Pool, Mr. TJ Harmon, a fellow NFL YouTube prog, of course. And TJ wrote, "Tough games this week as we begin to come down to the wire of this crazy NFL season." You are 100% correct. It was a tough week for pretty much everybody across the board. 11-5 was the best straight up record that I saw all week, so you would expect there'd be better ones than that, but 11-5 was the best that I saw. The Eagles got punched in the mouth by the Seahawks, but I think they'll learn from their oopsie daisy and beat the Rams. Good luck this week. They did do that, but my God, at what a cost. Eagles win, but their Super Bowl hopes are now in serious jeopardy without Carson Wentz. But TJ Harmon, thank you very much for your comment. Yours is the comment of the week from the Week 14 episode. In saying that, though, I will give a little special shout out to Nick, his name is, I believe it's Sky is High, who just came in and just dropped a random Super Bowl prediction, which I thought was awesome. I see Phillip Rivers and Aaron Rodgers at the Super Bowl, 27-31 Chargers in that Super Bowl. What are your Super Bowl predictions? How are we feeling? We're a couple weeks out from the playoffs. Let's start throwing down some Super Bowl predictions. I want to see your Super Bowl predictions in the comment section below. Help cheer me up from being a sick loser. That's it for me, Justin, Bridgewater's Finest on YouTube, Blockbuster_guy on Twitter. Maybe Billy B might listen to this episode because it's this short. Thank you so much for listening. Enjoy Week 15, couple of Saturday games as well, and we'll see you again in Week 16.